announced a December 2022 date for elections. In his Thursday, 24th November televised address, Premier Brantley outlined achievements made by his CCM-led administration and called on divisions to participate in the electoral process.
I have today advised His Excellency the Governor-General, after consultation with the Honorable Prime Minister, that the Nevis Island Assembly should be dissolved as of Friday, the 25th day of November, 2022. Nomination day for the election of representatives to the Nevis Island Assembly shall be Monday, December 5th, 2022. Election day on the island of Nevis shall be Monday, December 12th, 2022. In this election, you will have a clear choice between a solid record of performance of your CCM and government and the promises being made by the other side. I believe that our record has been an exceptional one, despite the grave challenges. I commit this CCM party to waging a campaign of ideas and of hope, rather than a campaign of vilification and vitriol. I urge you, brothers and sisters, to engage in the process, to listen to the issues, and to make your vote count for the continued development and advancement of this land called Nevis that we are all privileged to call our home.
Recently, the Evangelical Association wrote to the Premier advising that a December election could be disruptive to the Christmas activities. However, it would not be the first time that Nevis's elections have been in December. Glenn Batt reporting for SK Newsline.
With the Nevis Island Assembly elections carded for December 12th, questions are being asked. Will the incumbent Concerned Citizens Movement, the CCM, retain office, or will the opposition Nevis Reformation Party, the NRP, upstage Premier Brantley's 2 terms in government? Political analyst Peter Wickham earlier this week was asked to weigh in on the elections on Nevis.
My sense is that I believe the CCM is in a weaker position now, both morally and otherwise.
But weaker to lose the island election?
Yeah,
or
I don't know if that part is it. I really can't say one way or the other. As I said, I don't have poll data, and I would like not to speculate. But my sense is that the CCM is weaker, the NRP is stronger, and there's a strong moral position on which the CCM is weaker. Is something that I think if the NRP is able to capitalize on it, they could easily, they could well take the government. But as I said, as far as how far along that continuum divisions are, I really can't say, and I wouldn't want to speculate.
The CCM won the past 2 island elections, the last one being in December 2017. That was the first election for Mark Brantley as leader of the party after the long-serving leader and former premier, the late Vance Amory, resigned from that post. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. The holiday season is approaching, and now is the time to get the message out about your business. SK Newsline introduces special advertising rates for the Christmas season with our Christmas specials. You can advertise on the SK Newsline Newscast or send special holiday greetings to the general public with our Christmas greetings on both SK Newsline and Voice of the Caribbean Radio at affordable prices. Call our marketing department for more information, 665-7496, or email advertising@sknnewsline.com. 'Tis the season to be jolly, so enjoy our Christmas specials at SK Newsline and Voice of the Caribbean Radio and promote your business the effective way this holiday season. Your vehicle is very important to you. That's why you should ensure it gets the best service and care possible only at IAS Diagnostic Center, located at Bird Rock behind the Life Fitness Center gym. Come to IAS Diagnostic Center for wheel alignment, rotor cutting, AC servicing, wheel balancing, oil filter change, diagnostic, tire repair and sale, tinting, and much more. With top-of-the-line equipment, come to IAS Diagnostic Center in Bird Rock. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Call 767-4422, 662-4416, or 466-6708. IAS Diagnostic Center for quality care of your vehicle.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports. all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips. Nestled between evergreen mountains and the Caribbean Sea on the island of St. Kitts is the Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center. With breathtaking views, a rugged, beautiful shoreline, and immaculate manicured gardens make this the perfect location for your holiday, event, or wedding. With a large convention center, apartments with balconies providing stunning views, and a secluded cottage for larger family groups or honeymooning couples looking for some privacy. We have something for everyone. Book your stay at www.millhouseskn.com or visit our Facebook page, the Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center, an oasis of tranquility.
The spectacular Glory of the Seas, the fifth of the Oasis-class cruise ships, owned and operated by the Royal Caribbean International, docked at Port Zente in Bastia on its inaugural visit to St. Kitts and Nevis. With the capacity to carry 7,000 passengers, 2,300 crew, and coming in at 236,657 gross tons, Wonder of the Seas is the largest cruise ship in the world. It docked early on 24th November at Port Zente, which can now accommodate 4 of the Oasis-class ships at the same time. Minister of Tourism Marsha Henderson is quoted as saying, quote, "The largest cruise vessel in the world has docked on our shores. This achieved milestone is incredibly fitting as the destination recently garnered recognition as the busiest Caribbean destination per Caribbean Journal's recent article. Inaugural cruise calls, especially of this magnitude, provide ample opportunity for positive economic impact and allow St. Kitts to showcase its distinct qualities as a premier Caribbean destination." End quote. Government and private sector officials greeted the captain, crew, and passengers in a brief ceremony exchanging gifts on board the ship. Among the officials were Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew. Ellison Tommy Thompson, the Chief Executive Officer of the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, said the visit of the Glory of the Seas raises the bar for St. Kitts as a cruise destination. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
Reports of domestic violence in St. Kitts and Nevis increased by over 400% during the COVID-19 pandemic, disclosed Junior Minister of Gender Affairs, the Honorable Iseline Phillip. She made the disclosure during her address marking the launch of the 16 Days of Activism against gender-based violence against women and girls.
Violence against women and girls is considered the most widespread and pervasive human rights violation worldwide. In fact, 1 in 3 women and girls have been affected by some form of physical, sexual, financial, or emotional violence in their lives. Recent global estimates indicate that a woman or girl is killed by someone in her own family every 11 minutes. In the United States, it is estimated that women and girls are impacted by violence every 3 seconds. Based on these statistics, the reality of gender-based violence is pervasive and has become far too commonplace. Moreover, the socioeconomic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic would have intensified domestic relations due to stay-at-home mandates that added to the stresses of job loss, economic hardships, and the new unknown mental health challenges, which placed additional strains on spousal and domestic relations, thereby resulting in a significant increase in reports of domestic disputes and violence against women and girls. In St. Kitts alone, during the pandemic, reports of domestic violence increased by over 400%.
The minister stressed that together we must take a stand to condemn gender-based violence in all forms, and we must help each other to build healthy and positive relationships that are free from abuse and violence. She also encouraged the community to participate in activities that will mark the occasion.
As we work towards this goal, I encourage all of us to support activities being hosted in honor of the campaign from today until December 10th. Also, December 5th and 6th is designated as Wear Orange Day, so be sure to wear your orange to support. Also, you can tune in to panel discussions, join rallies, and invest time and resources into supporting and funding projects and programs that work to educate the public and assist women and girls in need of safety. I also take this opportunity to remind the public that if you are in need of assistance or support, you can use any of the following resources. For emergency response or to report incidents of domestic violence, contact the Special Victims Unit at 662-7077. For information or social assistance support, call Gender Affairs at 765-5492. For mental health support, contact the National Counseling Center at 465-5000.
The minister noted that the 16 Days of Activism campaign was originally initiated in 1991 by a group of activists at the inaugural Women's Global Leadership Institute. Thereafter, the United Nations Secretary General established Unite by 2030 to End Violence Against Women initiative. The Unite movement seeks to increase global action on combating the scourge of gender-based violence. The Unite campaign calls each to take action in a few ways, specifically to honor and acknowledge women's movements, to leave no one behind, to respect survivors of gender-based violence, to work together across sectors, to be transformative, and to elevate the voices of young advocates. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. The holiday season is approaching, and now is the time to get the message out about your business. SK Newsline introduces special advertising rates for the Christmas season with our Christmas specials. You can advertise on SK Newsline Newscast or send special holiday greetings to the general public with our Christmas greetings on both SK Newsline and Voice of the Caribbean Radio at affordable prices. Call our marketing department for more information, 665-7496, or email advertising@sknnewsline.com. 'Tis the season to be jolly, so enjoy our Christmas specials at SK Newsline and Voice of the Caribbean Radio and promote your business the effective way this holiday season. Your vehicle is very important to you. That's why you should ensure it gets the best service and care possible only at IAS Diagnostic Center, located at Bird Rock behind the Life Fitness Center gym. Come to IAS Diagnostic Center for wheel alignment, rotor cutting, AC servicing, wheel balancing, oil filter change, diagnostic, tire repair and sale, tinting, and much more. With top-of-the-line equipment, come to IAS Diagnostic Center in Bird Rock. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Call 767-4422, 662-4416, or 466-6708. IAS Diagnostic Center for quality care of your vehicle.
Online radio has never been this great. It's Voice of the Caribbean Radio at voiceofthecaribbean.net. Tune into Voice of the Caribbean Radio for great Caribbean programs, news, entertainment, sports, and current affairs. Wake up each morning and be inspired with One Day at a Time with Kim Huey. Stay abreast with news across the Caribbean and internationally with the Caribbean News Hour, and be entertained with shows like Reggaeville, Caribbean Classics, and Jive Music Show. Visit our website, download our Android mobile app, or listen us on TuneIn Radio. There is so much more on Voice of the Caribbean Radio, reaching the Caribbean and beyond. Check website or app for program schedule.
Auto Plus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where service is number one. If you're looking for a place to host that special event, conference, meeting, social event, party, whatever the occasion, your best option is the Millhouse Convention Center in Palmetto Point, St. Kitts. Located on the picturesque Garvey's Estate, the Millhouse Guest House Convention Center has enough space for outdoor events overlooking the Caribbean Sea. If you're looking indoors, the center is equipped with amenities needed to make your event a success. And by combining both spaces, you're sure to have a memorable event, no matter the occasion. Call the offices at Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center to book your next event on simply the most beautiful place in St. Kitts. Call 668-1392. Millhouse Convention Center at Garvey's Estate, Palmetto Point, St. Kitts. Making your event memorable.
Jamaica could soon see a decrease in the cost of dialysis and cancer treatment. Jamaica has decided to cement a relationship with Cuba to provide quality medical care at an affordable cost. Executive Chairman of Jatden Group of Companies, Dennis Gordon, says the cost of treatment is expected to reduce the burden patients face.
It is for the reason why we're at the forefront of offering these critical services at affordable rate. Dialysis, there are over 700 persons waiting in line, and as he said, it's a minimum of $80,000 just for the nutrients to be able to sustain the medication, and we are able, based on what we have worked out with the Cuban, to cut that by 50%.
He says shortage of equipment proves to be a significant challenge in Jamaica's health sector.
So we forged a partnership with Combiamed, who makes them in Cuba, and we were able to secure the agreement to start to have them assembled here. And come March, we will be fully assembling all of those equipment here.
This comes after Jatden recently signed an agreement with Cuba Medical Services to promote and expand cooperation in the health sector. Nicola Brown, CVM Live.
On Monday, under overcast skies, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt was visiting people in the rural southeast constituency of La Plaine, at times walking side by side with first-time candidate Cassandra Williams. The Dominican leader started out the penultimate week of a short campaign, likely more bullish than he was 7 days ago, after a week that showed off the strength of his incumbency and the flagging returns of the main opposition to boycott the snap elections.
That is the plan in terms of boycotting the elections in Dominica. As to whether that is an exercise in futility, we don't know as yet.
While the largest opposition party is staying away, one man who openly caucused with the United Workers' Party was among the 45 candidates that were nominated to contest the poll. There will be contests in 15 of the 21 constituencies, with challengers for the incumbent Dominica Labour Party candidate coming from smaller opposition parties and independents.
The people of Dominica said a loud and resounding no to the United Workers' Party and its associates.
There were no challengers in 6 constituencies, including against 3 newcomers, giving the incumbent a head start to what is widely expected to be a clean sweep in the polls. The encouraging number of challengers also came on the day the UWP and its allies had called for a national shutdown and protest of the snap poll. Political activist and ARC government critic Loftus Durand, who is promoting the boycott, said the development was somewhat disappointing.
Well, disappoint me, yes, to some extent. But I must admit that everybody have the democratic right to do whatever they choose to under the Constitution of Dominica. And one of those rights is to participate in the general elections whenever it is called in a sort of free and encumbered manner. And so those persons who think that they can go up against a well-oiled rigging machine of the Dominica Labour Party, I really and truly wish them luck.
Among those contesting the poll is the son of former Prime Minister Rosie Douglas, who is seeking to challenge his father's party in the constituency of St. Joseph.
He said the UWP and its allies have gotten the boycotting thing all wrong.
Some of what they've said I've disagreed with because some of it was not accurate. Because the UWP was in power at one point. If they wanted ID cards, they could have put ID cards. Some of the very things that the UWP is complaining about, they themselves were guilty of doing it. Freedom has no constituents whatsoever. So it is very easy for the leader of the Freedom Party to come and make a big speech because he's by himself. There's no area where they can win remotely. They couldn't even bribe their way through power.
One day after opposition attempts to bring people out in the streets fizzled, DLP flexed its own muscle by rallying thousands for what it called a march for peace and prosperity. Prime Minister Skerrit joined the throngs in an almost Juve-style celebration through the streets of Roseau. Critic Durand acknowledged DLP was able to put on a show.
Basically, what I make of that is that Roosevelt Skerrit is a showman. And as in any show business, you have that hype that is normally created.
Speaking at a political rally Sunday, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit said democracy in Dominica will not be undermined by a potential clean sweep, noting that this has happened 3 times in Grenada and twice in Barbados.
Giving one party 21 seats in Dominica puts democracy at risk, they say. But a party in Grenada won all 3 seats, not once, not twice, but 3 times over the years. And democracy has never been under threat in that country. The incumbent government in Barbados has won 2 successive elections with a clean sweep of the parliament on each occasion. And democracy is not under siege there either.
He also said the calling of early general elections is nothing new in both regional and global politics.
I'm a villain for calling an election in Dominica when I chose. But Timothy Harris in St. Kitts collapsed his own government in 2 years, and he is a gentleman. I am a villain for calling an election under 3 years in Dominica. But Sister Mia Motley in Barbados is a genius for having called a snap election and in an even shorter period than I have done.
Durand tells Carib Update that they are determined to continue their fight to influence a boycott of the polls, though the last few days appeared to have had some setbacks.
I am sensing out there a lot of broken shoulders. A lot of persons are really down and out. And I want to tell these persons out there that everything is not lost. It may look as if everything is lost, but everything is not lost.
The incumbent has its own motivational challenge with just 2 weeks to go before the polls. How to keep the base energized ahead of a near certain landslide. From the Carib Update News Service, I am Tahira Burke for Primetime Caribbean.
The streets of Beijing were deserted on Friday as China reported another record high of daily COVID-19 infections. There were more than 32,000 new local cases on Thursday, beating the record set just the previous day. Authorities in the Chinese capital have locked down neighborhoods and shut shops and businesses. Similar curbs have been placed on other cities across China, quashing investors' hopes that the country would soon ease its rigid zero-COVID policy. The French Chamber of Commerce in China called for authorities to properly implement the COVID optimization measures it announced 2 weeks ago. It says the proposed measures, which include shortened quarantines and more targeted steps, had raised hopes for more bilateral trade and economic exchange. Some local residents are becoming increasingly frustrated as well.
We just hope it will get better. Otherwise, don't talk about people's lives. People cannot even make a living now. It is not working anymore. Well, this really involves the interests of everyone. If this goes on, there may be a problem with access to food, and that is going to be serious.
Elsewhere in China, at the world's largest iPhone factory in Zhengzhou, more than 20,000 new hires have left after COVID-induced worker unrest this week. The departures are set to complicate the company's previous target to resume full production by the end of November, fueling concerns over Apple's ability to deliver products for the busy holiday period.
Football frenzy on the streets of Gaza. Decorations and flags representing all of the World Cup football teams are hanging in cafes throughout the besieged Gaza Strip. But Palestinians' joy and excitement will have to stay here.
While people of many countries are traveling to Qatar to watch the World Cup, most people in Gaza cannot. Israel's siege of the occupied territory, its restriction on the movement of its people, and the dire economy make it nearly impossible.
People in other parts of the world would gather in their homes to watch the game, but most Gazans don't have that luxury.
While watching the tournament at home is common around the world, here in Gaza, it's become a luxury. Power outages mean most people only have electricity for about 6 to 8 hours a day. Most football fans have to find cafes with generators to watch the matches for free. And there is also a huge outdoor screen provided by Qatar for people to follow the tournament, known by some as the Mondial.
Our aim is to allow the resident of the besieged Gaza to live the atmosphere of the tournament as if he's in one of Qatar's stadiums. Many of those who can't travel can't even watch the matches in cafes because of their financial conditions.
Although the tough economic conditions mean few have money in Gaza, people are doing all they can to enjoy the event.
We've made some preparations here. We've hired more staff and installed new screens and internet service. We expect to receive a lot of fans because people can't afford to pay the beIN Sports subscription to watch the matches, and most don't have generators to overcome power cuts.
Despite all challenges, one thing is certain in Gaza: the love of the game triumphs all. Yumna Sayed, Al Jazeera, Gaza.
On November 19th and 20th, St. Kitts Nevis was represented at the 17th Annual Sol Optimist Championship. 3 sailors attended from the St. Kitts Nevis Sailing Association, with Skylar Connor placing 1st, Abhijit placing 7th, and Grayson Burrell placing 8th. There were 26 participants from 6 countries: Curacao, St. Kitts Nevis, Antigua, St. Bart's, Dutch St. Martin, and French St. Martin. Now we have results in the World Cup. Well, the shock result of the day came from Iran defeating Wales 2-0. That was the first match of the day. Up to news time, we had results. We were pending results from Netherlands versus Ecuador and the United States versus England. Well, let's take a look at the results on Thursday. Switzerland edged down Cameroon 1-0. Brazil defeated Serbia 2-0. It was a 0-0 draw between South Korea and Uruguay, and Portugal, in a 5-goal thriller, they edged out Ghana 3-2. An exciting match, probably the most exciting match so far of the tournament. Then in Group F on Wednesday, we saw Croatia drawing 0-0 with Morocco, Belgium edging Canada in a very tense affair, 1-0. Japan shocking Germany, defeating them 2-1. They scored those 2 goals in the last 15 minutes of the match to come from behind to defeat Germany 2-1. The second big shock of the tournament. Spain drubbed Costa Rica 7-0. Big victory there for Spain, and the largest victory in World Cup history. The remaining games on Tuesday that we didn't get a chance to present to you: Poland joined with Mexico 0-0, and France crushing Australia 4-1.
Welcome to the SKN Newsline Weather Report. I am Janil Boole. Here is a look at the forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. more detailed weather report, visit our website at www.sknnewsline.com.